Juan, Chuck Schumer is known for being a pretty savvy politician. In 2006, he engineered the takeover of the Senate by Democrats in that midterm election. Did he make a mistake here, or was it just something that he had to do?
Well, so you have to look at it through different sets of glasses, Dana. One is, if you're Chuck Schumer and you think you have a chance to win the Senate in the fall, then you want to protect Democrats and give them the best chance, especially Democrats. I think there are 10 Democrats who come from states that were carried by Donald Trump.
Yep.
And as you know, there were 4 or 5 of them that voted initially not to have the shutdown.
Right.
And then you have this group of moderates come about that includes lots of Democrats and who say, you know what, it's better not to have a shutdown. We've got these robocalls aided by the Russians saying, oh, you're putting illegal immigrants over the interest of Americans by having a shutdown. And you know the line that came from the White House, this is about military, not about illegal immigrants and all that. And so if they felt that they were losing on that narrative drive, then Chuck Schumer was wise to go along with the moderates and say, okay, let's wait another day. We're going to wait 3 weeks. And then we're going to come back to this and we'll see what happens. The other set of glasses I would ask you to put on is the set of glasses that belong to people who are dreamers or who are their supporters or people who are in the fast-growing Hispanic Latino community. Mm-hmm. And they look at it and they say, wait a second, we support Democrats. We waited through two continuing resolutions in December. We were promised that this was the moment.
They're getting answers.
And gosh, look what you get. So the Democrats come back and say, oh, we got CHIP. We got, funding 6 years, I think, for the children's health insurance.
But they're not spinning it very well. I think that even Democrats are admitting that it doesn't look good. A lot of bad headlines today, Jesse.
A lot of bad headlines, and I might as well be a Russian bot, Juan, because I actually said on the show that Schumer was putting illegals over the U.S. military. It doesn't take a genius to see that, except Schumer.
Except you might be a genius.
I think Schumer, a very stable one.
Yes.
I think Schumer thought Trump was going to wheel and deal, and he just sat back and stood firm, and then Schumer spazzed out and humiliated himself. They've been pulled so far to the left by their Hispanic lobby that they walked right into a trap. And I think they think the Hispanic lobby, I know they think the Hispanic lobby's loud, and they are loud. There's a lot of activists that cause a lot of trouble for people. They're very vocal. They put, they get out there on the streets. But I don't know if they have the clout, because if you're talking about 300 million Americans here in this country to 800,000 dreamers, I just don't really see where the power is there. So Schumer comes along, and they know they need amnesty, and they know they need open borders because they need new voters because they've alienated the white working class of this country. That's a fact. But at the same time, he drove off a cliff in order to achieve that. And I'm thinking to myself, who started the whole thing? It's President Obama. He timed the whole DACA deal from the jump. He knew it was temporary. He knew Congress had to fix it. Trump assumes office. It was about to get smacked down by the courts, so Trump just kicked it back to the Congress. Now Congress just has to do its job.
Oh, yeah, so Greg, we can bring back the old hashtag. Thanks, Obama.
Yes, there you go. No, I think the Dems are in shock because they didn't get the assist from the media that they had expected. They were Abbott without their Costello.
Aww.
And it was sad. And I don't think this tantrum is afterwards by the left and by liberals is a good look, because when you really think about it, they didn't lose anything. All this is a pause. Yeah. This is basically a 17-day bathroom break between the shutdown and what's going to happen in February 8th.
And they actually did get the CHIP funding that they wanted for 6 years.
So if you start screaming, you're going to look incredibly thankless. And we already know, as what Jesse said, the narrative is actually a factual story. It's not a narrative. It's a factual story. The Dems put undocumented immigrants, illegal aliens before citizens. That's not a narrative. That's actually a documented fact.
How so?
Because that's how they tried to stop the bill based on DACA.
Oh,
what do I got to do?
Do
I need some semaphores to do this for you? We've been talking about this for months.
What do you want him to do? Hit his head on the door?
Excuse me. I think we have a situation here where Donald Trump is the one who undid DACA and then said, I'm going to set a March deadline, and then refused to negotiate and didn't pass a budget.
Is it March?
March? It's not even March yet.
It's January.
So
no, plenty of March deadline.
Do you think that everybody? What do you think will happen in 3 weeks?
We're not at the deadline.
We've got 3 weeks until the next round.
Bottom line is, I think that this is boding very well for the president. I think the Democrats are in, like, in baseball, you're in, like, the pickle, right? They're trying, you're going to get tagged out. Thanks to Cry and Chuck, it's a big problem. Political capital for Schumer way down. This was a strategic move, I think, by the president and his team that has worked well, and again, is in keeping and consistent exactly with what he said he was going to do during the campaign, and I think more in step with the majority of Americans in terms of what they want. So I think that this is actually going to ultimately prevail as a victory for the president, and I think we're already seeing that perhaps even quicker than we thought.
Yep.
Can I just add that, this is what he does. Why make a deal when it's not till March? People don't do that when you're dealing.
Right.
When you're a dealer. The other thing too is, but to make Juan happy, Trump often likes a deal more than what's in the deal. So you'll be. I
might
think
be dealing for a while.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I did think, and I'll wrap it up. Don't worry, Mr. in my ear. That if you look back at the headlines in 2013 when the Republicans caved and ended the shutdown, that the headlines that Chuck Schumer is dealing with today were the ones that the Republicans were dealing with back then, and people move on. But what we really should do is try to get back to regular order and just pass a budget and make the law.
That'd be nice.
All right, ahead.